Yeah, I wasn't gonna do a tier list. I was gonna just talk about specific cards. I think that's a little bit better, but what do you guys think? I think I was gonna do like post Photon Phantom Nightmare. Like, I have a couple cards I wanted to talk about that I thought was really cool. So for example, let's take a look at like the way the Fire King combo works, okay? Oh, Lancia is because of Infernoids. Guys, Lancia is being played in the OCG because of Infernoids. It's Infernoids. Specific cards, probably better. Yeah, okay. I have some secret tech cards. Maybe we can talk about. It's crazy. The format is 2 months away, and I'm already talking about how to beat the format. But let's start off with, this is the combo. You go normal summon Ash, Ash effect, get Populous, Populous effect, special summon itself, get Sekai, link into Karibo, Populous effect to put itself in the spell and trap zone, activate the effect of Ash, send itself and Populous, summon Flameberg Dragon, activate the original Sinful Spoils, send the Karibo to the graveyard, summon the Ponix, Ponix effect, grab the Sanctuary, activate the Sanctuary, get the Island, Island effect, pop the Ponix, trigger the Grunix, Grunix effect, pop the Kirin, Kirin effect, bring back the Ponix, link both the Ponix and the Flameberg Dragon into a Sunlight Wolf, trigger the Reflective Flameberg, bring back 2, effect of Wolf, add back Kirin, use the Ponix and the Grunix into an IP Masquerena, and then you go into a Princess. The Princess will then bring back the Flameberg. The Flameberg puts the IP in the spell and trap zone. And then here you have the Amber Whale with the Princess and the extra Snake Eye Ash. And here we're going to use the effect. Oh yeah, so this is what you end on. Amber Whale, Snake Eye, Flameberg Dragon. Right? So one of the cards that like addresses this board state really well was a tech that I discovered actually looking at the OCG, and it's actually a card known as Soul Release. I know it seems like a meme card completely, but it is a really solid card, because this deck has a lot of layered interactions, like super layered interactions. And what I mean by that is that like this board right here looks like so minimal. It's kind of like Unchained, right? Like it doesn't look all threatening, but it literally is like 7 interruptions. Like this is genuinely 7 interruptions. So I think the first card that I actually would talk about as this first secret tech card is probably gonna be Soul Release. Because of the ability to banish 5 cards from your opponent's graveyard. It's like everyone's playing it with Thrust right now, but a lot of people, it's like worse when you, it's way worse if you thrust into Soul Release on this board. Because if you thrust into Soul Release, if you activate the if you thrust into Soul Release, your opponent just activates Kirin immediately, and then they trigger back their Garunix immediately and all that good stuff. So so like you wouldn't activate this right away. Like you wouldn't want to thrust it, you want to hard draw it actually. Because if you hard draw it, your opponent has only IP Masquerena with Little Knight. Like that's their main interaction after the fact. Because like if you think about it, if I banish Princess, Sunlight Wolf, the Snake Eye spell from your grave, the Garunix, and the Ponix, you have like your only interruption is IP into Little Knight, and then you have Whale that you can pop with Kirin to maybe bring back an IP like SP. That's it. Or like you pop your SP and then like this can banish yourself to pop a card. Yeah. They don't get back Ponix because it was linked off. But this is just to show you what happens if you get Soul Release. The other card that's like also really good then as a result, but you have to find the right deck that could play this, is this card. So the reason, like, you have to find a deck that could play this, but this card is actually like busted. Like the first effect is crazy. Neither player can activate card effects in the graveyard. it's busted because it lasts for 2 turns. So it lasts for 2 turns. Like against Fire King, you don't get the effect of Flameberg. You don't get the effect of Princess to summon itself back. You don't get the effect of Garunix. And it's 2 turns. Your opponent's scrambling. Like they're mega scrambling. Because it lasts 2 turns. So if you can find a deck that could utilize it, it's actually really, in my opinion, I think this card is really insane. Yeah, this card is actually crazy. But it's the hardest part about this card is just the fact of like finding the right card that could use it. But if you apply the first effect where neither player can activate card effects in the grave, it's actually wrapped. Yeah, Pearly could use it. Pearly is one of the decks that could use this card, which I think is actually kind of nice. Kashtira as well. I think Labyrinth cannot use it because if Labyrinth uses it, they don't get back their furnitures for 2 turns, and they cannot use transaction rollback in the graveyard because it is a card effect in the grave. Another card I wanted to talk about was this card. So this card is the Sinful Spoils of Subversion, Snake Eye. And I think this card is kind of neat because one of the things that comes up a lot is what happens if you open Wanted and Populist together, right? When you open the Wanted cards and the Populist cards together, let me see if I can open some stuff for you guys. So let's say you take like a pretty standard deck here. Now, one of the things I've noticed when I was testing the Fire King deck was draw. When you open like this, the perfect example, Wanted and Bonfire, right? Because one of the things I saw was that when you activate Bonfire, you get Ash effect, get Populous. Populous effect will get you this. I mean, in this example, it's kind of bad because you can activate Wanted to put back the original, and then like you summon the Wish, so you reset it back again. But when you're going second into boards, like you want like Wanted and Populous to be a board breaker, in my opinion, like to at least like play into boards. And I think the issue is that like if you don't play like another target for the Snake Eye spell, it makes it so that the Wanted engine and the Snake Eye engine, like the Populous engine, pretty much are like the same. Like they're literally they don't. I don't know how to. The best way to put it at words is that like they do the same function, which is that like it just gets access to original, right? So I think like playing Subversion is like really solid, whether in the side deck or the main deck. And the other thing that I wanted to talk about was this Snake Eye card that I saw get a lot of traction too, called Dramatic Chase. This was a card that I saw was getting some decent attention. So let me go to card cluster. This is called Snake Eye Dramatic Chase. So Dramatic Chase is a card that I saw getting some more play, like seen more play recently. Because you have basically the whole concept is that when you have access to original already, like you need another card to, like you want like another card to set, especially if you're getting like multiple hand traps. One of the cards that's really solid is Dramatic Chase, because it can put Devastator back in the spell and trap zone, and during the end phase you can banish this to summon back a monster. But a really cool play with Dramatic Chase is that you don't need to keep up the dragon anymore, because when you do the combo where you put IP in the spell and trap zone, right? A lot of people have been doing this to get free value. You can use the Dramatic Chase at end phase to summon it back, like summon back the IP that way too. So it's like another way to like use this to summon the IP Masquerena. So I think like Snake Eye tech cards you should probably consider are like the Subversion and this, because I think like going into boards, having access to other Snake Eye cards besides original is like really solid. Like definitely really solid. I think that's like besides the argument of just playing more originals, but like I said, I just think that you want your engine to actually do something more than just get access to original when you're going second into like boards, and like I think that's like the main thing with the deck. So that's like one of the tech cards. The last tech card is like kind of obvious, but not really that obvious. I mean, but I think it's pretty much obvious. It's Ghost Spell. Dude, I think this is like a hand trap that's finally coming back into the game. It's been a while since like we've seen Ghost Spell come up into the metagame. I actually cited it at YSS Bologna, 2 copies of it. But I think this is a 3-of staple in the side deck now, because it is a strong card against the Labyrinth matchup. It's a really strong card against the Fire King deck as well. You can Bell the Wanted spell to add, because it has the ability to add back from the graveyard potentially. It's solid into like runic strategies like Bell. Like Bell is just like a really solid card now. Like you can Bell your opponent's runics. You can Bell the Flameberg Dragon to summon back 2, which is insane. You can even Bell your opponent's princess, right? Going into a board. So I think Bell is like a hand trap that I think is finally going to be seeing play again. And I think it's really solid. So I think that's like, it's like not really a tech card, like a secret tech card, but I just wanted to put this card on the list because I think it's a card that you should definitely just pick up 3 copies of, right? Like it's just a really good card. So this card is really strong. So I think those are like the main things that I would say are like the top 5 tech cards. So just to kind of like summarize it, I think Gravekeeper's Inscription and Soul Release are like the 2 cards that I think have a lot of potential going to the Fire King meta. I think this 2 Snake Eye cards of Subversion and Chase has really cool applications because it makes it so that your Wanted and Populous engine is more dynamic, which I think is really clean. And then lastly, like just Ghost Spell, which is like the 5th card I put on the list because of how versatile it is in the upcoming meta. So that's why I really like it overall. Yeah, so these are my thoughts right now on pretty much the deck. Okay, so